Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live, talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynn@pghcitypaper.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Hey, welcome. I think it's Bastille Day, July 14th, I just noticed. Sorry I wasn't with you guys yesterday. It was a medical issue, but I'm fine. And so that begins the week on Tuesday, and that means Susan's joining us. Hi, Suze.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm okay. It is Bastille Day, isn't it? July 14th?
Yeah.
You don't know?
Yeah.
I think it is.
July 14th sounds like Bastille Day. I just don't know that today is July 14th.
Oh, it is, but that's what I just saw on my computer.
Okay.
Yeah, that it is. Okay, so, yiko. Yeah, it's normally when I start the week on Monday, it's been 3 days since I've had to say anything about what's going on in the world, and to have this 4-day expanse, there's so much on a daily basis. Where did I see? I think it was in Dana Milbank today in the Washington Post.
What, every day gets worse?
Yeah, right, exactly. The headline is "The One Constant: Trump's presidency. Tomorrow will be worse." It's so
right.
true.
No one is still saying, well, it couldn't get any worse.
No, you can't. Anytime
As a matter of fact, if you feel tempted to say that, please don't.
Yeah, right. Please don't. Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. It's true. And you can't keep up. And it is getting worse. It's getting really.
Well, but that's sort of predictable, because the more under siege that person feels, the more erratic his behavior. So, and the less his grip on reality. Yeah, good God, isn't that scary? Exactly. What is it going to take those people in Washington to move to save the country?
Well, I don't know. Obviously, they're not. I just, in regard to the pandemic, to see him actively working against all the things that would help maybe us get a hold of this,
right, or
a leg up. It's as if he really wants more and more of us to die.
But at the same time, when he strives to discredit Dr. Fauci and instead cites Chuck Woolery, in what universe are we? And how nuts does even his most loyal fan have to be to not see that the doctor that has been, recognized by 6 presidents as more than capable, is maybe someone better to listen to about medicine than Chuck Woolery.
Chuck Woolery. I ordered 4 face masks yesterday. They say "Trust Fauci," and they benefit the Democratic Party. But give me Susan, I don't know. I don't know.
I know. It's not fun, but we just can hope that time continues to fly during a pandemic.
Oh dear. We are so fucked. Excuse me, but
I know.
Words fail.
Yeah, we are. We're just and then we are faced with a monumental task of, even once we sweep everything and are in firm control, we still are in the middle of a pandemic. We still have to get on the other side of the pandemic, and we have to pray that we can entice half the people that went scurrying out of government to come back. I mean, it's like we have to offer them we'll pretend you didn't leave. You'll just slide right back where you were. You know?
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know. God help us. He's chased all the competent people out of the government. I was in some of the things that have happened since I was able to, express my horror. The fact that Lieutenant Colonel Vindman. Yeah. Wow. And all I could think is, here's the guy who, when he gave his testimony that killed his career, said famously, I had to reassure my father, who grew up under, Soviet, under the Soviet system, that this is not a dangerous thing I am doing, to speak the truth. This is America. This is why he brought us here, blah, blah, blah. And then to see that everything his father
Daddy knows best, right?
Yeah.
These people have a very difficult time discerning who's the hero and who's the traitor. According to them, on the traitor side is Vindman and Tammy Duckworth.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure.
And on the hero side is Michael Flynn
and Roger Stone.
Who, I can't figure out if they can only find pictures of him wearing that derby, or if he always sports that derby, but he looks so stupid.
I have to tell you, there is a video that is chilling of Stone being deposed. I don't know what particular thing it is, but he is on camera, facing the camera, and you just sort of see in behind and profile whoever is asking questions. And Susan, his face, he becomes angry at what he's being asked, and he starts like making these grotesque faces as if it looks for all the world like he's in some kind of satanic, something's trying to overtake his body.
Right, he's in the throes of a satanic possession.
Yes. He and his fingers start to curl and you have to see that. I think I tweeted it out. I did. I tweeted it out because I said, God, look at this. It is chilling. My God, these people. Good God. So anyway, I was just reading.
I think you sent it to me, actually.
Yeah, it is frightening. So Mary Trump's book, there's a
which
piece,
again, because the publishers have figured out that if they can just get enough advance copies out and it gets leaked, that there's not a leg to stand on
to stop it. There wouldn't have been a leg to stand on to stop this anyway.
I know.
But it's really getting good reviews because apparently she's a very good writer, as well as a trained psychologist. So it's pretty good. But there's this thing where she talks about the I think it was Christmas gifts being given.
The regifting.
Yes. And for those of you who didn't hear, she talks about what the Donald and what was his first wife, Ivana.
Mm-hmm.
Gave to her and her brother and her mother. Her brother received a handsome leather-bound journal that was 2 years out of date. Mary, that's the author, received a cellophane-wrapped food basket consisting of crackers and salami and an indentation on the tissue paper where a jar of caviar had been removed.
No, where she guessed it was caviar. That was the joke. She didn't know what had been removed. She guessed that it was caviar.
Well, she's probably right.
Right.
Right. I mean, what it had been?
Right.
Something, the good thing was taken out. And her mother was given a fancy purse that contained a used Kleenex. Now I have to tell
and I think it was also stated that they used to laugh about these things. I mean, it wasn't like they just
it wasn't surprising. It was
right.
What do you think we'll get this time?
Right.
But she points out how he was so damaged by his as everyone in the family was damaged by the father, but he so wanted his father's approval. And she then draws this line from that neediness where she says, he's essentially a 3-year-old emotionally. And she says it's not surprising then that the people who he deals with now on the world stage who remind him of home are Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un.
Mm-hmm.
It's people, these autocratic, frightening, controlling dictators. It's why he's drawn to them. It's like Daddy. Oh, we're in such a fucking nightmare. I can't see straight. All right, so I have.
Well, unfortunately, at least as regards Kim Jong-un, it appears that his sister is in control,
or at least,
does she have a warrior face?
Wait, yeah, she's scary. That whole crap. My God. Oi, you can't make it up.
I just thought Trump won't want to do. I mean, there are no more talks with North Korea, according to her. But can you imagine Trump having to talk to
with her? I mean, first of all, he cannot tolerate.
No, he'd hide behind
Melania.
He'd bring Melania.
Oh God. All right. Well, here's something that has nothing to do with any of that. It's science stuff, and I just love this. I mean, how animals have so much more stuff going on than we do, and their ability to see the world literally in different ways than we did. So this is just from the science. No, it's not. It's from the Wall Street Journal today. Elephants actually speak to each other hundreds of miles away. Now, you can't, and you would think, what? They got to bellow so loud that you can hear them hundreds of miles away? No, the opposite. They use low-frequency sound to communicate with other elephants, not hundreds, miles and miles away. And we have no ability to hear that sound. It's so low frequency. So can you imagine elephants are talking to each other miles away? We don't even hear it.
Well, that would give away what they were saying.
Yeah. Hummingbirds see ultraviolet light that we cannot see. They see colors we cannot imagine. On the other hand, they can't smell. You wonder, we think we get the world. We don't know. We just get the world that our senses are able to perceive, and we don't know nothing.
No, and the people that only watch Fox News know even less.
Bumblebees. How do you think bumblebees find the flowers? I just assumed I don't know what I assumed. I assumed they sort of, I was thinking
I think other insects leave trails and even claim certain flowers as theirs. I think it's all done with scent, isn't it?
Well, that's not what I have here. You think bees have noses?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. It has to do with electrical fields. So bees, while they're flying, so they're out there flying, looking for some flowers. And as they fly, they build up a positive electrical charge on their bodies. And that happens because there are these tiny filaments on their head and on their bodies.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to guess. So they're drawn like a magnet to a flower?
Yeah. So they then detect a negative charge that flowers generate. So flowers are generating negative charges, and the bees flying around are doing positive, so they are drawn, literally drawn to the flower. How cool is that?
Well, you mean so our brother was serving me a pile of
what, when he talked about the dance? No, what I remember him telling us is about the dance they do to tell other bees where the flowers are.
But of late, he was telling me about how they leave a trace, something that declares a flower is theirs and off limits to other species, other insects that can read that.
Well, that might be true too.
Yeah.
Jeez, all this stuff's going on right under our noses, and we are... Here's one about snakes. Pythons and boa constrictors and vipers. They have little holes on their faces, and those are called pit organs. And those holes contain a membrane that detect infrared radiation given off by warm living bodies up to a yard or so away. And so the snake, because of these holes in its head with these membranes, essentially see their prey. Not really. They get that the radiation. They see that radiation coming off a warm body, and that way they know there's something there, a prey or a predator, which suggests they don't have very good eyesight, right?
Right.
I don't know. So there you have it. Anyway, that's just some stuff about, wow. And my favorite story over the last weekend was the story out of Japan, out of Tokyo, and their amusement park there that they reopened, but obviously they have all kinds of safeguards in place. And one of the safeguards was you are told when you're getting on their Fuji Q Highland roller coaster, which, by the way, holds the world record for fastest, why can't I say fastest? Fastest acceleration. The roller coaster at this Tokyo park gets to 112 miles an hour in one.
So what's the G-force as you go up? Oh my
God! In 1.5 seconds.
Oh my God!
How the hell is that possible?
Well, that could got to be real pleasant feeling to be slammed against the back of your seat and then dropped. Oh!
I don't get it. I don't understand why anybody likes it. But here's the new rule. New rule. You cannot scream.
Well, how can you help it?
Well, that's the obvious follow-up question. You cannot
scream. Voluntarily scream.
Yeah, you cannot scream. And they had the head of the park and his boss ride. They have a video of them riding this thing in stoic silence, showing that it's possible.
What fun.
Anyway, they say if someone screams that nothing will happen to them, but they're begging people to try not to, because
it just lets out all of those hanging viruses which the cars in back of you ride through.
Yeah, I mean, that you're spewing stuff into, I mean, I don't see it as a problem, but the no scream at the park is, I don't know. Anyway, so there you have.
Why do we need amusement parks to open? I mean, I understand it's jobs and everything, but
Susan. And that's where we go.
I don't want to spend the whole rest of my life in jail.
Yeah, well, you might have to, because a lot of people can't help themselves. They just can't. So that brings us to Disney World, which, of course, is situated in probably
Florida,
the hottest coronavirus spot in the world.
It's the hotbed of the Democratic hoax.
So there you have Disney World, and it reopened on Saturday, I guess. Have you seen anything about? Was anyone there? Gosh.
Yeah, what I heard was that that it was sort of miraculous because there were very few people there. There weren't lines. There were temperature checks at every place before you could enter any ride, and everything was very sanitized. And
yeah.
It was probably a rather pleasant Disney World experience because there were
no one was there.
Throngs and lines.
Yeah.
It's like going to senior hours at Costco in Green Bay. There's no one there.
Great. So there was this quote from one of the employees there. And this is right before it opens. I think this is a story from the Friday before it opened. And there was something so funny about this line. Here's the sentence that made me just guffaw right out loud. I feel safe because Disney has gone above and beyond what they needed to do. An employee named Sam says, standing near Fantasyland.
Didn't you get kicked out of Disney World?
Yeah, well, I didn't get kicked. I got censored, and my work was deep sixed. It was on
garbage or something.
I developed such an antipathy toward Disney Land, Disney World, Disney, any of it. After that trip, I spent a week down there in Orlando doing TV reports for WTAE TV. And Susan, I felt like I was in, like some kind of crazyville, like Westworld. I just felt like I was never allowed to be alone. It was like being in North Korea, I guess. I don't know. I literally was followed by this awful young man, and he would say things to me like, "No, you can't." All the time. No, please don't take that picture. He showed me the most, I did see something that most people don't get to see, which is amazing, which is what is underneath Disney World. It's an entire city that runs like, it's amazing. There's like, little trains going and a whole, I remember he showed me how the garbage is disposed of down there, how anything that's thrown into a garbage can, how it goes into it's just amazing. I said, oh my God, I've got to, wow. And I start, and as soon as my photographer started to shoot it, he said, no, this is just, no, you can't. I said, what do you mean? This is so fascinating. This is amazing. And he said, you cannot do a story on where the garbage goes because there is no garbage in the Magic Kingdom.
And we wonder where Trumpsters came from.
Jesus! God! And then the one that did get me in trouble was I was on some island, Discovery Island it was called. I've heard it's since been closed down. Discovery Island. And that was, it seemed like a sort of natural habitat-y kind of thing with lots of wild birds and stuff. And I was brought to this little hut where they were making lunch for some of the birds that live there. And there were these bowls set out, and in a number of the bowls, there were dead mice. And I said, God, who's eating that? And, of course, it was some kind of carnivorous, big bird, scary bird. Yeah. Right. And I said to the guy, does Mickey know? Does Mickey know you're feeding?
Mickey been here?
You're feeding his buddies to the birds on Discovery, and the guy did not laugh. And I looked at my photographer, and I just sort of like he understood, and I was saying, please get a picture of these bowls. And so he surreptitiously, he had the camera sort of under his. He right. surreptitiously got the picture. And so I happily go back and do a story, and I use that. Well, it never, I assure you, no one in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania ever saw that piece. I found out later.
It was called, WWMD. What would Mickey do?
What would Mickey do? It was, and I had not known that every piece I did, the WTAE producer immediately sent over to, the censors at Disney, and that one just they went up, they went nuts. Said there's no way, obviously. So I have never been so enraged and freaked at living in this bizarre place, and also seeing the complicity of WTAE's producers in allowing themselves to be used as, just a PR organ.
Just to do a puff piece, right.
Yeah, do nothing but puff pieces. They brought the wrong reporter if that's what they wanted to do. Jesus.
Yeah, because you were going to expose Mickey killings.
Does Mickey? I had a great shot of
Cullen
Mickey.
On the job, investigative reporter.
Can you imagine? We had this great shot of, Mickey, happy Mickey with a kid and, greeting everybody. And, and then ominous music as, does Mickey know? Well,
I don't know about anybody else's kids, but on the couple of occasions that we did actually take the kids once to to Disney World in Florida, and those life-size characters that would show up at breakfast or stuff, loom around a child, did not make my kids happy. They were absolutely
terrified of them. I think that's like, some kids at Chuck E. Cheese, they don't like those big guys either. Oh, and that's another thing. My photographer was taking, when we were down under in the basement area, he was taking pictures of like the characters lounging around, the people in those costumes without their heads on. So it was the body and then a human.
Right.
So he's taking pictures, and oh my God, the guy went berserk again. You can't. Jesus. And I remember. Oh, I was asked at one. Somebody said, none of the male employees are allowed to have facial hair. And
I thought you were going to say something else.
No.
Okay.
They're not allowed to have facial hair. And I said, what? I mean, that's really weird. Because Walt Disney
had a mustache.
Yeah. So what? Huh? And got all sort of, oh my God, what a fucking nightmare. Hey, I got a good story. I mean, as good a story as, you can have in this day and age. And this, too, I think came out of the the Washington Post today. It's about a woman. Did you see this?
I think I saw it on the nightly news last night. The nursing home woman.
Yes.
I told Mother that. Go tell the story. It just makes me totally love her.
Oh, her name is Mary Daniel. She's 57 years old, and she's a woman to be reckoned with. She's the chief executive of her own company that is in the healthcare field, helps patients with their healthcare bills. Unfortunately, her husband, Daniel? Oh, no. Because I'm thinking her husband's name is Daniel. No, her husband, Steve, has early onset Alzheimer's and is in a memory care unit of a nursing home. And she was there every night with him, getting him ready for bed, staying with him until he fell asleep. And she said, I mean, whatever. Sounds like, wonderful couple. And she, everything was fine until, of course, the pandemic. And on March 10th, she was told as she was leaving, seeing him, that she could not come back, that visitors were no longer permitted. And she said for him, it was, it was hell, absolute hell. She didn't know what to do. And then she figured it out, right? She saw there was a job opening at the place, and it involved doing dishes, mopping floors. She took it. And after she does all that work, this CEO does all that drudge work, she goes to her husband's room and stays with him until she has to leave. And she says that, the home says they just love her, that she is amazing, and she obviously has helped him. But isn't that that is such a wonderful story.
Well, she loves him, and she intends to take care of him and love him to, the end of his days. I just, but right. What, okay, so I'll wash the dishes.
Yeah. I'll sweep some floors. I'll do whatever. No problem. Oh. Bob says, Lynn and Susan, did you hear about the former game show host? Yes, we already talked about it.
Chuck Woolery, yeah. Dating game. Dun, 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 dun.
Is that what he was? Really?
Yeah, he was the original dating game guy. He did a lot of them, but that was him.
Ugh.
And he is a notorious, tinfoil right-wing crazy person.
Right. The other thing I wanted to say something about, because it's just so impressive. Thinking back again to something that happened, seems like 5 years ago, but it's probably just a few weeks ago. I don't know. When the black man who was a birder in Central Park, asked a woman to blah, 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 and she called the cops on him, yada, yada, yada. She lost her job, she lost her dog, she lost all that, and then on top of it, I guess this week or last week, she was charged by the Manhattan DA with filing a false report. And the birder, who had the same name as
Collins. Aren't they both Collins?
Cooper. His name was Christian Cooper, and she was Amy Cooper. Should have been Karen, right? Christian Cooper. When he was called to, comment, he said, she's already paid a steep price. That's not enough. That's not enough of a deterrent to others. Bringing her more misery just seems like piling on. And he went on to say the DA can pursue this without me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that disagree with them, that want them to,
No, she has. I mean, come on. I agree with him.
I agree with him too. I'm not saying I don't, but when reading comment threads, which I do, there are a lot of people that didn't agree.
Yeah. Gigi says, I love the science stuff. I work with birds. And yes, all bird species see in the UV spectrum. All of them do, which we do not. Oh, she's attached a photo, which it's a northern saw-whet owl, a small species which migrates through here in the fall and spring. A researcher discovered that the owl's wings glow under UV light. The reason is that they have a substance called porphyrin in their feathers. The amount of glowing and color helps determine how old the owl is, because the porphyrin fades with age. Yeah, it doesn't everything. Also, by chance, a researcher discovered that flying squirrels also glow under UV light. Why? Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez, the stuff.
Hey, speaking of science, did anybody catch the comet?
No, I did not. Did you catch a comet?
I did not, but my son is always sort of interested in these things.
Right.
So yesterday morning, he set his alarm in Chicago for 4:20 and went out on his top his bedroom balcony that looks across the rooftops of Chicago, and set up his telescope, and he caught it. He got the comet both through his telescope and naked eye, and just beautiful.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
It's, what did I read? It's like 3 miles across. I mean, not
right.
I mean, that's the width of it. 3 miles width.
And it only comes this close to us every 6,793 years or something
like that. We
never
saw it before.
It's just weird. It's just very weird.
And it buzzed really close to the sun and picked up its tail got a lot longer because it kicked up a lot of, I don't understand, sun dust.
Well, the weirdest thing that I read, because after I saw the pictures that he took, I went and looked it up, is that appearing now, it appears tail first.
What?
Yeah, don't ask me why, but it looks, when you see it, it appears tail first. I don't know. And the very interesting way to find it, according to the thing, because it appears right above the horizon line, and it's still visible for the next couple of days, is you just go outside and you hold your fist out, your arm out straight from the shoulder with your fist locked, and then it's about 1 fist foot up from the horizon, and that's how you look for it. North east in the morning, northwest at dusk.
Jeez. Well, something tells me I won't be doing it. First of all, I'm not in a position to see the horizon.
Yeah, I got trees everywhere.
You got trees and you got light pollution too. So
well, but he was in Chicago, and I was amazed at the number of lights that were visible, and the number of stars that were visible. I mean,
Susan, Keith begs to differ. He says Chuck Barris did the dating game. Chuck Woolery was Love Connection.
Oh, he's absolutely right. I am wrong.
Yeah.
I am wrong. I am wrong.
Love Connection, which Keith says was a syndicated piece of crap that ran late at night usually. I don't think I ever saw it, frankly.
I knew it was some girl-boy thing.
Yeah. So what else I got here? Oh, I also want. I don't know if. Did you guys all see that Pittsburgh made the New York Times yesterday? Oh, God. Not in a good way. The headline, Pittsburgh flattened its curve, but now cases are surging. And there's a lovely picture of a bunch of idiot yinzers boating in the Allegheny River, which you would think would be fine, but no. These people have managed to take what would be a safe activity, and they've all pulled their boats so that they're like right next to each other, and they're going from boat to boat, and they're drinking and having a fine old time, and not a one of them has a mask on. Oh, I think one guy does. One guy seems to. But they talk about what's happened here. And it says the spike in the Pittsburgh area offers a cautionary tale. Even after months of vigilance, an outbreak can flare up all of a sudden. And while the nation's current flood of new cases is being driven primarily by the spread of the coronavirus in the South and in the West, experts fear that other parts of the country could be close behind. Yeah. Like us. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know there was a caller. I didn't notice. Frankly, you guys have not been calling very much, and I've gotten used to not looking. I find out I have a caller on my cell phone when Amy texts me, and I have to admit I hadn't even been checking because I've gotten so used to not having anybody call. So I'm blaming you for me not noticing I had a caller.
How Trumpian of you.
I know. Anyway, it says here in this New York Times article, just in case you didn't know, the next few weeks could prove pivotal for Pittsburgh. And then they end it with a really smart quote from one of the newer members of the Allegheny County Council, Bethany Hallam, who, if I am correct, has served time in prison, I think, and is a recovering, I guess they say, heroin addict. And she, every time I see her on the news, she is so smart. So Bethany Hallam said that the state needs to rethink the terminology they use, because she said under the plan, the governor's plan, counties were moved into what was called the green phase. That's where we were. And she said to anybody from a 2-year-old to a 100-year-old, green means go. So we went to green, and everybody went wild. And I think that's true. You can't tell people in this day and age, hey, we're green. Good to go. And that's what happened. People heard green. That's what we think. Red means stop, green means go, and off we went.
Well, you never should have gone beyond amber. I'm just saying.
No, I agree. But see, this is economics that drive this, not health. Clearly, economics driving it. But it's penny wise, pound foolish. It's not being
if we
willing
had taken
to do
all that stimulus that we gave to and it's not that just the Catholic Church. I don't know why it was decided that suddenly taxpayer dollars were going to churches, mosques, synagogues. I don't approve of any of it. They were explicitly included, so why shouldn't they take it? And at the same time, all of that money should have been going straight to people so that they could afford to stay home.
Of course. Which is what,
might even have disposable dollars then to at least online keep some of those businesses open.
Yeah, but we don't like doing that because it sounds like that's welfare. We'll give it to rich people all the time so it trickles down, but we will not go directly to the people in need. We have a caller. Hello?
Hi, Lynn Cullen Show, and hello, Sister Susan Nutzel.
Hello.
Yeah, I was the caller. You guys left me on hold so much for so long. I had too many bong hits and too many shots of tequila. I couldn't remember what I was going to talk about.
But it's come back to you?
Call back anyway.
I'm sorry. I literally did not know you were there. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, that's the story of my life. One thing I did remember I wanted to talk about is that I think you guys missed the lead on the story about amusement parks in Japan banning screaming.
Really?
I don't know. There was I read either the Wall Street Journal or the Huff Post or something. Or no, Daily Beast. But at the end of the video, if you notice, there is a message from the government and from the guy that owns this.
Oh, I know what it is. Is it this phrase, please scream inside your heart?
Yes. It is so
That sounds
Japanese.
painful.
It's so Japanese. God. It's so Japanese.
So Japanese. It's either going to get it's either I've never gotten a tattoo before, but that might be a tattoo I might get. Or maybe the name of our new next record. Please.
Screaming in my heart.
Yeah, there you go.
Screaming in my heart. Oh my God. That's what totally freaked me out about that article.
No, you're right. You're right. I didn't have that part of the little piece in front of me.
I think we put that on a face mask. I mean, I think that's a good one. Screaming in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Please scream inside your heart.
Yeah, I like the please too. Not
please scream inside your heart.
Just please scream inside your heart.
Oh God. Well, there. That's what you wanted to say, and you remembered, even though you were.
There were a couple other things.
Okay. All right.
Well, the please scream inside my heart I sent to my niece, who's like, I think 13 now, and she grew up with the whole Disney tentacles. And let me tell you, they are horrible. But that's actually not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about is you guys have both talked about the pharmaceutical industry enlisting us as people to request drugs from our doctors.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've noticed a really weird trend lately that they're direct marketing to pets to request drugs from their vets. I swear to God, no. There's this one where there's this talking dog, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a talking dog," and I think.
Oh, that's right. I think he wants Seresto, Seresto or something.
Seresto.
And he's really annoying and sarcastic, and he's asking the doctor for this and telling the doctor that and bossing the doctor around. I want this. So here's my plan. I'm going to adopt a dog and take it to a vet. I might need some ventriloquism skills, but I'm just going to have the dog tell the vet, Vicodin.
Oh, honest to Pete.
and then the doctor will say, well, we can give you some aspirin and ibuprofen and Tylenol. If you use that, the pain will. No, this hip dysplasia. It's really hurting me. I need Vicodin. Vicodin. And hopefully it'll be a Doberman. So the dog will be so, hard
to argue with.
I'll give you Vicodin.
Yeah, hard to argue with. Wait a minute. I don't mind you doing bong hits in the morning, but you're not doing Vicodin.
I am beginning to believe in the tequila.
The last time that I did Vicodin was maybe like 5 years ago, and it was because I had an operation on my tongue to remove some precancerous whatever it was. And after they sewed up my tongue, they gave me some Vicodin, and I was like, can I have some more? And they're like, yeah, okay. And then finally, the third time I asked for a refill for this prescription, they were like, no.
Well, good, because what, do you want to become an opioid addict?
No, but I would like to have a few Vicodin on the shelf just in case I'm in pain. Which I was last week with sciatica, and they wouldn't give me anything.
Everybody has sciatica. Stop sitting.
No, but they wouldn't give me anything for pain. They would only give me like these things that are supposed to, I don't know.
Okay, but just this is my advice to the whole world that probably 90% of us have sciatica. Get 2 tennis balls or 2 balls specifically made for this purpose. Lie on your back on top of those balls right at the, and work them around. And let me tell you, that helps.
It feels good.
Look, I was lying on my back on top of balls for a long time, and I did not get enough. I did not get financial recompense for lying on balls on my back. No, seriously, Susan, I tried that. I tried the back massage. I tried the stretches, the everything. Yeah. And then finally they gave me a prednisone or something, something that's
And did it go away?
Well, yeah, and I'm not sure whether it was from the prednisone, but, apparently
it relieved whatever inflammation was doing it.
That's right. It's an anti-inflammatory. That's correct. Right, oh my God, we sound like a bunch of old Jews.
Yeah,
I know. We're having an effing organ recital.
All right,
Pete.
Okay, cut it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Love you best.
I love you too. Bye. I want to point out that in some of the surprising Supreme Court findings of the last term, I was surprised that both.
I'm just excuse me.
Well,
I can't talk either. I'm just
suspicious. Yeah, but the fact that Kavanaugh and Gorsuch on 1 or 2 occasions, broke ranks with the where you would think they would be, and I think it was Kavanaugh who quite clearly said in regard to Trump's the Manhattan DA's right to see his tax returns. Kavanaugh said quote, in our system of government, as this court has often stated, no one is above the law. And that principle applies, of course, to a president. Now, that must have made Trump go berserk. So that was good.
What are his judges turning on him for?
And Gorsuch, who was the one that wrote the for the Native American, for the Oklahoma tribe, which was an amazing one as well. I just want to say that, wow, I know where.
Well, the Oklahoma one I just adored.
Oh,
I mean, exactly. At what point does the United States have to live up to its treaties?
Jeez. Oh, my God. So, anyway, just saying that little bits of hope here and there. Very little, probably, but still. And I want to do a shout out to, I want to thank, first of all, Delana for sending me this. It's something I had vaguely known of way, way back when and totally had forgotten about. And it's an amazing story. I think I posted it all by myself, I think, on the Facebook page. I think I did. I haven't looked, but I think I did yesterday. And it was about the fact that when we think of EMTs, of ambulances, you call an ambulance, and when we think of all of that and what we assume happens, that trained people come and maybe start working on you immediately and get you to the hospital, that is a relatively recent innovation, which shocked me. Turns out that into the 1960s, if you called an ambulance, what you got was, a kind of ambulance with police guys who'd come and throw you on a stretcher, do absolutely nothing for you. They were trained in no way in any kind of medical intervention. They would just speed you to a hospital. And a lot of people, obviously, died on the way. Turns out there's a guy at, I think, the University of Pittsburgh who is also called the father of CPR. Dr. Safar, I think his name was. And he dreamed up this way to get jobs to black men in the Hill District and establish, he created the first, he trained these guys.
EMT Corps, right.
It was the very first one here in Pittsburgh in the black ghetto because the cops wouldn't even show up to get you if you were sick there. So these guys became so amazing. They were totally trained. They could, they could do all the stuff that EMTs now do. I mean, they were amazing. All African American, and they were doing such incredible work that the mayor here said, well, we'd like to have that, and they essentially took it over. The city, this is under Mayor Pete fucking Flaherty, they took the ambulance that these guys had created, service. It was called the Freedom House Ambulance Service. They took it, appropriated it, absconded with it, put it under the city, and threw every single one of those black people out of work.
Yay, Pittsburgh!
Listen, there is a documentary on this, and it is the fact that this is where the idea of EMTs came from. And it was after Pittsburgh did this, before the city took it over, that other cities started to have similarly well-staffed. I was stunned by that. You did not have EMTs until the 60s. Check out freedomhousedoc.com and how that ambulance service came out of Pittsburgh. We have a caller. Caller, go ahead.
And good morning, Lynn and Susan. I have a memory that I wanted to share. I met your sister Susan at the Pleasant Present in Squirrel Hill.
Yeah.
And are those guys doing well? Do you know?
Oh no, that store's been closed down for a long time.
Oh, I know it's been closed. I just thought maybe you.
Oh, Michael,
yes, they're doing well. Michael's doing well.
That's all
Michael is retired and is baking amazing things, and he's fine.
That's wonderful. No, I really enjoyed your talk about the elephant. Now, I have a Factopedia by Charlotte Lowe, and this really amazed me. Unlike most mammals, which grow baby teeth and then replace them with a permanent set of adult teeth, elands have cycles of tooth rotation throughout their entire life. Over their lives, they usually have 28 sets of teeth.
Wow. Some of us could use that, huh?
Right. I wish our teeth would rotate.
But, that means, though, they have to be teething all the time, which is not pleasant. So teeth must fall out, and then they just create new ones.
Rotate. It might even be like a bicycle chain. How it moves.
No, how could that be?
They fall out and they get new ones. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wait a minute. My bicuspid is now my what are some of the other teeth? I forget.
Molars,
canines. Canines. There you go. Canine is what I was thinking of. That is so cool.
Yeah, I thought, and I have a little joke if you want to hear it.
All right. Proceed at your own risk. Go ahead.
Okay, there was two ants on the television screen, and they were crawling and crawling and crawling, and one of the ants started crying, and the other ant says, "What's the matter? Why are you crying?" And she says, "We're lost." And he says, "Oh, no, don't worry. I brought a TV guide."
All right.
Okay, that's all.
You're out of here. Goodbye.
So long.
Goodbye. Oh, God. Okay.
All right.
Dumb jokes are a godsend these days, though. Seriously. I was sort of hanging on here trying to get the latest numbers, but they're so horrific these days, I don't want to see them. There was a slight drop yesterday, finally below 3 digits, but that's assumed that it's just lack of reporting over the weekend. So I'm expecting that this will go way up again. So whatever, not too cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Well, Suze,
bye, everybody. Be well.
Yeah. Be safe. And, guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.